When watching or reading a story, eye-opener for me in terms of writing and understanding the connections between the setting and the characters. Not only that, but how characters affect the setting. If some major event happens with a character, that major event will happen in the setting. People will know about it because most of the characters in this show are pillars of the city, which is kind of weird considering the main character is so in the dark. Our main character, Mikado Ryugamine, very, very anime-sounding name, grew up in a non-city environment and later moved in high school to the city of Ikebukuro. Here's where we learn about all the gangs, the urban legends, the strong, the weak, and we get a feel for the city. And I don't know, like that part alone just makes it have so much interest in the first episode, and the interest only just keeps building as the story progresses. Though Mikado is technically considered the main character, we don't see only him. We aren't told the story through his perspective exclusively. He's far less active in the story than usual main characters are, but somehow they balance this characters and their perspectives of an event that will happen where we have to figure out what happened. What's so great about this series is how they ended up with the actual setting as the main character. Now, I didn't talk much about the main character because there isn't much to say. The entire city is the main character, and we get that feeling almost instantly when we get like different cuts and POVs of different characters besides Mikado. We're instantly strapped in for like, oh, this isn't a normal way of telling a story. If you've seen Durarara, you're already aware of the completely stacked supporting cast, and if you haven't, I'm here to tell you about it. From mysterious girl on a bike to leader of the Ayakuza, that is just an underestimated range. So we have this mysterious black rider that goes just zooming across the city, and that's one of the last urban legends we hear about, as she just glides past our main character as she was dealing with a job, which we got to see the full thing of, which is so great. They don't leave any details out. So yeah, she's called the Headless Rider. She's what brings a lot of fantasy to the story, and every time she's on screen, I'm just so happy to see her. She's just such an interesting character, the way we have a non-human act almost the most human out of everyone, and she definitely has one of the best character arcs of the series. She cements herself as a lovable, non-aggressive type that simply wants to make things right. She has serious moral standings and principles that would just scream justice. She goes out of her way to help and support others that need it, especially Mikado and his endeavors. Every time Mikado's in trouble, he always calls on Celti, which shows that he's willing to use people and also just how reliable Celti is. Celti was the one to rally behind when they all needed a group leader. This is talking about pretty far into the last season, so I'm not going to delve too deep into it. I don't want too much spoilers. She was the go-to leader when they needed a leader for the group. She was more of a symbol during the final couple of arcs than anything else. So now we're going to talk about Shizuo Heiwajima. In my personal opinion, he is my favorite character. His personality was something you just couldn't get anywhere else. He was so cool, strong, aggressive. He was just hot-headed, and he didn't care who knew it, really. Whenever he gets screen time, it's just made me wish that he was in the story more. It's great that we got to see him so many times. They obviously wanted to emphasize that he is a powerful character by just how much times we see him. Whether it's his strength, heart, or his anger, just makes me wish he was in the story even more. In the show, we actually see Shizuo get hurt a lot. Even though I describe him as kind of like an immovable object and an unstoppable force in one, he does get stabbed, he does get shot, he gets all of these injuries, but just doesn't care. He got shot 3 times, and all he could think about while he was lying on the floor bleeding was what he would tell the guys when he got back up. He was just thinking of a comeback. Like, he only cared about what he could say next. That would be cool. I thought that was so funny when he revealed that when he was getting the bullets removed. It also shows a lot of the comedy in Durarara. Just like, they're not afraid to make it a lot more cartoonish than it's actually supposed to be, because it's supposed to be a pretty dramatic show, pretty mysterious. But they make it funny a lot of the time and have a lot of comic relief. And I think Shizuo is a big part of that comic relief. He isn't all that complicated, and I know like I was diving a little deeper into his personality than the others, but he isn't that complicated. His thoughts are forward and simple. His origin sure isn't the most pleasant, but sure isn't holding him back. He's just a huge idiot that hates Izaya, and Izaya is what I'd like to talk about next. Izaya isn't blessed with the same strength that Chizuo is, which no one is. If I had to sum up Izaya, I'd say Izaya is smart, but he isn't the smartest. He's strong, but isn't the strongest. He's cunning, but isn't the most cunning. Izaya is what you call a jack of all trades. He has advantage in most aspects when facing a foe, and that is what makes him so dangerous. We also see in the show Izaya perform a lot of cool knife tricks. He's an absolute beast with the knife. We see him throw them, we see him do a lot of parrying and blocking, just showing his dexterity and his ability to react very quickly. We see him scale large buildings, we see him do a ton of agility feats, like even faster than Shizuo, being able to dodge and avoid a lot of his blows and throws. In the final ending fight, at the very last season, we see Shizuo versus Izaya, like what would happen, and oh my god, it is such a spectacle. I'll show you a few clips while I'm talking about it, but oh my god, it's one of the coolest fights. That it just has one of the biggest leads. We see these characters fighting forever, and then we finally get, kind of like throwing petty shots at each other. Like Izaya would like lock him in a room, and Shizuo would just chase him until he got hit by a truck. But yeah, and then we finally get to see the climax of like what would happen if these two were just going at it for as long as they can. And it's such a cool scene. I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end or anything like that. I'm just showing you like clips of the fight, and it's just so cool to watch. And their own relationships with the other characters. Izaya knows everybody. Everybody knows Izaya. Some of them hate him, some of them like him. We get to learn all of that basically within the first season, which I'll talk about right now. The gangs, we have the dollars, the blue squares, the yellow scarves. There's a few others, but they aren't exactly in the city, and they only show up for brief moments. Of course, the Yakuza, where we do get to follow more of Shizuo's story through the Yakuza as he is framed for killing a few of their guys. We get to learn more about that, what their relationships are, and just an overall amazing adventure and tons of arcs that just connect so well with the story. We never really get one side of the story. We're always given multiple sides. Some we don't know if it's the good side or the bad side, what the actual outcome of the decisions the characters made, what outcomes led to the eventual conclusion. We get lots of the story, but we don't get all of it. So it's almost like we're piecing it together as we see more and more of the characters' perspectives, the people that were actually there and the people that actually weren't. Yeah, I just love Durarara, and it just does so well with storytelling, and I implement so much of what I get from Durarara into my stories. It was such an inspiration to me to start writing. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for Durarara. It's pretty short. It's just what I think of it off the top of my head, basically. This is my first ever real try at a video on YouTube. I know I uploaded a few others. If you did see them, thanks for watching them. And don't try to watch them. They're bad. Yeah, I'm going to be uploading more stuff like this, where I talk about anime, shows, cartoons, anything that you could watch or read. I'll be talking about it. That's really all I have to say. Durarara is my favorite anime, so that's why I started with it. If you want to see any anime that you've watched, and maybe I haven't, maybe I have. I mean, it'd be hard to find an anime that I haven't watched, but if there's any one that you want to suggest, leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching.